today's video, we're going to be breaking down the last 4 trades that I've taken live and sharing my insight of why I took them, how they played out, what was going on in my mind while taking them. And then at the very end, I'm going to give a market update on what the current market is, what's going on, what am I going to be looking for moving forward, and go from there. So let's dive into the charts. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button on this video for more content. The more likes and subscribers I get, the more I will want to make these videos and the more that it'll be worth making these videos. So thank you for watching. Let's dive in. So if we come over to the charts here, we're gonna go over trade number 1 that we see right here on my screen. So this is currently at about 9:30, market open, okay? What I'm seeing is I'm looking for a bearish market. I've called this on my Twitter, you can see it right here. I've called this on Instagram, I've called this in our Discord, okay? I'm looking for a bear market coming up. And if you guys are up to date in the market, we got that quite a bit, and we'll jump into that in a little bit. But trade number 1 here, I see us developing a pretty good uptrend going into market open right here, okay? I like this, I signal in the Discord, we're getting ready to go live. We see this beautiful uptrend forming. All right, out of this uptrend that we have, we're also filling some of the liquidity left behind on this huge move downwards. All right, we build this sloppy yet good uptrend kind of building. And then first, what do I look for? But I want to see a clean break of it, leaving displacement, a good CISD candle, a tap back into that trend retest, and then I will take my short out of that because in my mind, I'm thinking we're going to be bearish on today. So what do we get right here going into market open? We get our trend break right here and our CISD candle right here, leaving behind a beautiful fair value gap, which also happens to be an inverse fair value gap right here. So we have overlaying fair value gaps that I love. We get our trend break, we get our CISD. Next thing I want to look for is it to try to fight back up to that entry for me to take my position. So we're sitting on our hands right now, waiting, waiting, waiting. Price obviously taps back up into this. I'm risking the highs of up here, and we get our entry at the perfect midpoint of this fair value gap. So a completely sniper entry. All right, I'm loving the reaction we instantly get on this with this huge move down to here. I'm moving my stops to break even as soon as we get a break of this low, which we get right here. As soon as this candle closes, stops are at break even. We are in a risk-free trade. All right, we're already starting the morning off on a hot one, risk-free trade. What I'm looking for before anything happens is for it to sweep out these equal lows here, because what these equal lows are telling me is that there's liquidity sitting down here that price wants to reach before we continue on in either direction. So instantly, I'm looking for price to sweep out these lows. That's my final TP. And what do we get? We get a good reaction off rip as soon as we enter, get our stops to break even as soon as we sweep these lows, check mark. Risk-free, loving it already. Price wants to fight back up, fill some of the imbalance we left on this displacement. I also wanted to risk this fair value gap in case we wanted to come up and fill this bearish fair value gap that we just created in the market. But you see it fails to do so, and we end up hitting full TP for trade number 1. We sweep out these lows. You can see as soon as we sweep them, we soak instantly. That's showing that there was a lot of liquidity sitting down there, okay? So once we do that, boom, I am all out. It likes to climb back up. And yeah, I left quite a bit of profit on this trade. But what I'm seeing is I'm sticking to my rules. I'm looking for it to sweep this liquidity. Boom, I'm out. That was a 1 to 14 risk to reward. Meaning if you risked $100, you'd make $1,400. All right, it's pretty simple, pretty easy, straight to the point. That is what I'm looking for. All right, now I could have trailed my stop after that, but that is not my strategy. I wanted it to sweep that liquidity. It did. I'm out. Boom, A+ trade to start the morning. Now, you can also see we're starting to develop a downtrend here. All right, so you can see this downtrend that we're developing right here. We're continuing to bounce off of it. So after I got out of this trade, we swept the liquidity I was looking for on the morning. Next thing I'm looking for is this new downtrend. All right, so now we have this clean downtrend. I'm looking for it in the opposite direction for a little scalp of a trade, because overall I'm still bearish. I'm still bearish on the day. Doesn't mean I can't take a long out of there, but just be quicker to take profit. So we get our trend break right here. All right, so we get our trend break, we get our CISD, we get movement out of this zone. After we swept that liquidity, we're instantly fighting up. And then we get our trend break right here. Boom, trend break. So what am I looking for now? All right, I see that there are a lot of fair value gaps in this area. If we see there's one here, one here, one here, and one here, one right here, and then we got 2. So what I'm looking for is a trend retest into the fair value gap right here. I marked the fair value gap, I'm watching, We almost tapped it here. We didn't. I stayed patient for a reason. I've seen this before. We're going to want to sweep this low out, sweep into the zone that we want to take profit. This is a BPR, all right, a balanced price range where there are a lot of fair value gaps. So I waited for price to tap back into this. And what I was targeting are these fair value gaps left behind right here. We have imbalance on both sides right here, showing that this is a heavy draw of liquidity that price will want to reach. And what did we do? We sniped the entry down here again, risking the trend retest, because most of the time when you have a strong trend, price often wants to retest the other side of that trend once we break that trend. All right, a lot of trends being thrown around here. But once we break it, we want to retest the trend. And yeah, you could say it retested it here, but this wasn't a clean break for me. This one was. All right, we showed separation from that trend, wanting to create a new movement in the market because we swept that lower liquidity, filling those orders. Now I need to see price want to surge out of that area before looking to take a trade. So we get that tap right here, boom, sniper entry again. Basically zero drawdown. As soon as I entered, we get an initial reaction spike up. Love that already. Again, I'm gonna move stops to break even once we close above this line. So these candles right here, once I saw them wicking out, I moved stops to break even. All right, that was close enough. We pretty much closed above this, a hair above it. I move stops to break even, risk-free. We already have one banger trade on the morning. I don't want to give back any profit and risk on the table. So once we get a close above this high right here, stops are at break even. We're targeting this imbalance area right here. And if you can see, I kind of sniped the exit too. Not often do I snipe an exit like that. Again, we left a tiny bit of profit on the end because we swept above this high. Again, didn't take it. Didn't hold on for this, took all profit right here. Boom, trade number 2, bank. I'm up great at this point, all right? So I'm only looking for A+ setups out of this, and I will signal them in the Discord. So if you can see here, we get a new trend, all right? We get a new trend right here. Boom, we got this uptrend. We get the break right here. We just never tap back into this displacement to take another short down to our levels, all right? So that is trade number 2 in the books. Love it, A+. I'm up good. Again, I'm not gonna risk anything for the rest of the day. Now it comes to the daytime of the next day. All right, so I banked on 2 trades the day prior. I need to take my money out of the market and leave. The minute I start to want to overtrade is a bad signal, all right? That's because I'm mentally wanting the money and not trading the setup. So again, walked away for the day, 2 trades, A+, boom, I'm done. So then we move to tomorrow, the next day. We can see price instantly bouncing on this level right here, the EMA. And I was looking for shorts. Again, I'm still bearish on the market overall, day in and day out, for a good reason, and I'll show you. And we have this uptrend that you can kind of see right here. It's a little bit of a lower uptrend. It's kind of a little bit of a sloppy one as well, but we get our break, all right? We get our break, we tap back into this fair value gap, and it kind of broke it, not how I liked it. This is more market intuition because we didn't get a strong break of that trend, but instead, overall, I am bearish, and again, we just broke below this EMA. We've been bouncing off it for so many times, we finally want to break this EMA. So what did I do? I'm gonna be trading it inside of this fair value gap right here. And as you can see, it perfectly touches the midpoint. Again, a sniper entry. So now I'm 3 for 3 with sniper entries of basically zero drawdown. I'm feeling good, all right? My mind is in a good place. I feel I am having a great read on the market day in and day out. Now this is one we caught in the live. If you guys want to trade live with me every single day, all you have to do is sign up with my referral, Bitunix, all right? That's it. And then I teach you for free. All right, I do these live every single day. We trade live, we catch these bangers in the live stream in real time. And this is the one I took, all right? We have this large displacement, high impact candle after trying to push up. We also swept a lot of higher liquidity right through here. We swept it and had an initial sell-off. So this is telling me we're gonna wanna go short. Out of market open, we tried to climb and then we rejected. This is telling me short bias, okay? Now, this trade kills me. Even though I made money on it, it still kills me. I was looking for it to sweep out all these lows right here because there's a lot of stacking lows here, which means there's a lot of orders that are under that. So that is where I'm looking for price to sweep out. And again, we do just that for a 11.3 risk to reward, saying if you risked $100, you would make $1,100. All right, pretty easy, pretty to the point. Risking $100 if we get stopped out here, and then making 1,100 if it plays out and sweeps this lower liquidity. Now, I should have left a runner. All right, on trades like this, when my bias is strong, I am 2 for 2, feeling good on my market read. I should have left a runner on this, but I didn't, okay? I went all out TP here, and then we get this major aggressive sell-off. Look at this. Boys, I left so much profit on the table. I would have made probably close to 100 grand if I would have held onto this, but it is what it is, okay? I got to keep a level head. I'm making this market read from experience, and through my strategy, that are the numbers I'm getting. So I need to stay calm, and I need to trade my strategy. All right, so yes, I could have taken 80% here, left a runner for this mega dump, but who knows? This might not have happened. It could have just swept this level and then grabbed that liquidity and continued up. All right, so I have these roles for a reason. I have this trading strategy that is a 70 to 80% win rate for a reason, and it's because I'm sniper entry. I'm taking profit where I should. I'm not holding on for home runs. I am literally just trading my specific strategy. But again, sometimes I will leave runners. This was not one of them. And for that reason, there's a lot of liquidity sitting here. And also, this huge dump, if you guys remember, was all from Trump. Trump announced a 100% tariff on China, and it completely dumped the whole market. So again, if that didn't happen, this easily could have just grabbed that liquidity and kept on going, and I would have been happy on where I took profit. Still am very happy. But we left all this on the table, and not only this, we would have dumped all the way down to here, making me well over 6 figures, probably $500,000 if I would have held on to this trade. But it is what it is. And then we can see the trade number 4 here. I tried to take a long out of this because, okay, he announced tariffs, all right, is what it is. People have a bad read on it. They're like, oh my gosh, this is negative news. It dumps the market into lower liquidity, and normally we like to get a micro bounce out of that. So what I'm looking for here is a long. And right here, we have our downtrend. We can draw it out here. We have our downtrend. We get a good break of that downtrend right into here. So this is where I'm looking to take my trade, is right inside of this fair value gap right here. Because first off, we inverse this large fair value gap right here that we just created. So we have stacking fair value gaps right here. Stacking fair value gaps, stacking midpoint. I'm taking my trade right on this. Almost stops us out there. It doesn't. Bounces, bounces. It's looking good. All right. Once we clear above this high, I am moving stops to break even right here. Boom. Break even trade. All I'm looking for it to do is climb back up into this imbalance right here and sweep out some of these highs and sweep the lows here that we see stacking that we just broke. We have this level right here. I'm just looking for price to play up into that zone. And then all of a sudden, I guess the market wasn't done dumping. So we get an instant stop out for break even. I end up losing like $200 on that with fees and everything. But again, I went 3 for 4. I still had a great week. I mean, I couldn't be more happy with my trading performance here. But again, we get an absolute dump to, good Lord, who knows where, all the way down to here. All right, that's like a $700 move on Ethereum. Wasn't looking for that. I thought this dump was enough. I thought out of this dump, we would get this reaction that you can see right here. We get this V pattern, we get this big dump, and then a move, which I thought we were gonna get right here. We dumped, sell off hard. We broke this overall large trend line that you can see right here. We broke it. I thought price wanted to retap it the other side of the trend. If you see right here, let me zoom in here. We get the break of this trend. I thought price just wanted to retap it and then kind of make a move up. I was going to take profit a lot faster than I did with that short because, again, I'm looking for overall bearish movement, which we got, all right? Huge sell-off. But again, market had other plans and ideas, and this is why limiting your risk on trades is so important and not chasing. Okay, I got stopped out here. Doesn't mean I just keep buying down here and getting stopped out. I know so many traders that once they get stopped out for the first time, they keep re-entering lower and lower because they're still trying to take this trade right here. When in reality, as soon as this stops us out, that means our trading was wrong. Doesn't mean it's a bad trade. Just because you lose on a trade doesn't mean it's a bad trade. Statistically, your strategy, 70, 80% win rate, you're going to lose 20 to 30% of the time on a good trading setup. Nothing's 100%. So just because you lose on a trade doesn't mean it was a bad trade. You need to review that trade, see if it was worth taking. And in the end, you're going to have some losses. So that's what you got to do when you back test, live test, whenever you're trading. You have to understand to not let it wreck your mental side, because if I would have kept a full stop here, I still would have been okay. All right. But luckily, I moved stops to break even as soon as we closed above that. And again, just got stopped out for fees. That was it. Fees are the only thing I lost on this trade. And then we get a huge sell-off, mega sell-off right here. Boom, V pattern. I don't even know what price was doing. If we go over to the 1 hour, let me just show you what this 1 hour looks like. Look at this major sell-off right here. Now, we caught the top of the sell-off with that trade that I would have let run. I would have made $500,000 on that trade. I would have been super stoked. But again, I'm not planning for Trump to launch news. All right, that's not in my playbook. The government shut down. I thought there would be no news coming out, stuff like that. It was already a little choppy. I overall thought we were bearish. Doesn't mean I'm going to hold on to that. I'm going to still stick to my trade plan and move with that, okay? So overall on the market, I want to give a little update here. We have a major sell-off. Trump launches tariff news, people don't like it, sweeps out these lows, and we get an absolute sell-off to the max, and then you can see we're instantly trying to bump back up here. Now, what this is telling me is, yes, we do have a little micro bounce up, fill some of this imbalance that we left behind, but overall, I am still bearish. I think we will enter a bearish market. People called me crazy before this huge sell-off. I was calling a bearish market on this huge uptrend right here, because if we step up to the 4 hour right here, you can see that as soon as we break this trend line, as soon as we break this trend line right here, we get a major sell-off. All right, so this is the strategy on a large time frame. So I was watching this time in, time out. That's why I took this short up here. That first short that would have played out big is also look on the larger time frame. We get our trend break with large displacement. We tap into that other side of the trend, and then we have a major sell-off. Once we broke this, I told the whole Discord that you better start selling some of your long-term bags because we are going to see a bearish market, which we did. All right, again, Trump helped me out there. I didn't think we'd see it in 1 day, 2 days. I thought it would be over time. It would start to dump back, but we got it in 1 day. All right, wonderful. So out of that, I think we're still going to be bearish on the overall market. So if you guys are trading, be careful. Keep your capital protected because after this huge volatile move, I don't know if I want to touch the market today. Today's a bank holiday. I'm not trading today. That's why I'm making this video of reviewing some of the past trades. I will approach the market tomorrow, the next day, see what price we're getting, because there's no need to risk my money in a choppy, volatile market. All right, I want to have clean price action, levels be respected, and then I will look to take my trade. But having a bounce like this isn't abnormal. All right, we had a huge sell-off. There's a lot of orders left behind up here that price is going to want to climb back up to before we get our dump back off. Now, overall, I'm still bearish. Doesn't mean I'm going to be only looking for shorts. It just means overall on my whole market experience, I'll let my shorts run a little bit longer than my longs. That's about it. So that's going to be my market update for what's going on and what I'm seeing in my brain as we see this market develop. So guys, please stay safe. And again, join the Discord if you guys want my updates every single day and trade live with me every day. All right, I do this live. I share my screen. We take trades, me and 3 other analysts that are absolutely killers in crypto. We trade live every day in the Discord. So click the link down below. Make sure to subscribe, turn the bell notification on to get my updated videos. I give a lot of education on this channel, so make sure you guys can catch whatever you guys can. But stay safe, guys. Keep your capital safe, and I will see you guys in the next video.